Well, hello guys. Bit of a different video today. As you can see, I'm in my office. Tim Minchin's on the wall in the corner. We've got Dan on call. Sorry for any audio issues. Nice Sabaton flag. Um, Bit of a different format because Download's access team has changed for this year. It's no longer the team that was working with Live Nation. Someone else has taken over. So it's a whole different new set of people looking after us this year. So hopefully there'll be some improvements. Hopefully they'll change a few things that were pretty good last year but might have needed a little bit of work. But it also means that we have to reapply for the accessibility requirements. Whereas in previous years, if you've applied once, that will last for 3 years. We applied last year, brand new. So in theory, we should have this year and next year that we could just send in the form and go, you've got our details already, give us the access requirements we need. But because it's a new team, we have to reapply again this year, and it's a bit of a different process as to what we're used to. So we're going to take you through it. We'll start right from the very landing page of Download's website. We'll go through all the information, fill out the form, and take you through what steps you need to do to get your access requirements at Download. This may be a multi-part video. We're hoping we can do a lot of it today. Definitely today we want to be applying for our Download access digital pass, because Dan doesn't have a Nimbus card. We'll go into all of that in a minute. And we want to actually send the accessible camping form off today as well. It just depends on how long it takes for the digital pass to come through. So this may be part one of...
From what I understand, from speaking to various people who've applied already, they're fairly quick.
Yeah.
So, but they're also very strict.
Yes. There is also an unofficial Facebook group, which I'll show you as well, which has a lot of useful information, discussions. It's used like a forum, people asking questions, lots of good information in there, so we'll go through that as well. Yes, we'll give you the direct link to the accessibility page on Download, and I'll give you the link to the Facebook group as well. It is a private group, but if you request to join, I'm pretty sure you'll be let in. So, without further ado, let's jump over to Download Festival's landing page, and we'll go into the form. So, here we are on Download's landing page. Rather cool video on the front there, and it's where we are going to start our little journey. So, up in the top right corner, we'll have the 3 lines that'll drop down. You want to go to accessibility, and that'll take you to this information page here. And if we scroll down a little bit, there's a little bit of an introduction. So this is all about the new accessibility team. A few lines there, and then what we are looking for here is apply for accessible facilities. There is also a lot of handy information down here. Essential companion ticket goes through stuff with requirements for that. There's the arena accessible facilities. It looks fairly similar to what we've had in the past. And then we've got accessible campsite. Again, I believe this year, because it's not as big as last year, I believe it'll just be the 1, maybe 2 campsites. We also have...
As far as I know.
Yeah. We have accommodations for deaf customers, assistance dogs. They will be allowed depending on the requirement through your Nimbus access or your Download digital access cards.
I believe it will be what was campsite A.
Yes, yes, on the track. We were in campsite A,
which is where we were. Very nice, very big.
Yeah. There's also a few bits there for additional bits like internal transport, what weather we could possibly expect. the usual effect lighting warnings. You know, there will be smoke, strobe, lasers, fireworks, loud noises. You know, just make everyone aware. And then there's a handy little contact page down at the bottom for post or email. So we're going to scroll up to the top and we're going to apply for accessible facilities. So first thing you need to do is you need to purchase your ticket. We've already done that, so we will not be needing to do that. We've secured our ticket. So next, once you've got your ticket, you need to register your proof of accessibility requirements. So there are two ways we can do this. We're going to do the second way. The first way is to already have a Nimbus access card. This is a widely accepted card across the UK. A lot of people already have it. So if you've already got your access card, you can go straight here and click here to complete the accessible form. You'll put your access card number into that form and that'll generate your accessibility requirements for the team. What we need to do, because Dan doesn't have a Nimbus card, is we need to register for a free, and this is important, it's free, you don't have to pay for this bit, the Nimbus Download Digital Access Pass. So we can then upgrade that to a Nimbus card later down the line. So once we've done this, we will probably take you through applying for a Nimbus card as and when we do that. So first, we are going to click here for a Nimbus Download Digital Access Pass. So we go into there and we go through what we do. So Nimbus is an organisation run by and for disabled people, which is really handy. So this is just taking you through all of the information. This is the first time I'm seeing this as well. I probably should have looked at it beforehand. So obviously if you've already got your Nimbus access card, you'll click there and you'll go through to the access form. So we will be applying for the pass today. So let's take a quick read through. I'm going to ask some questions. Oh, excuse you. This process is to pre-approve your evidence of a need for certain accessible facilities only. You will need to apply separately for use of the accessible facilities at download. So this is the thing before the accessible form, and then we still have to do the accessibility form after this. So let's go through to the next page. The Download Festival Digital Access Pass. Apply to register for free Nimbus Download Festival Digital Access Pass using your Nimbus registration ID number. No. Do you have a Nimbus registration ID number, or is that what we get here, Dan?
That's what we get here, man.
Okay. See, even I'm getting confused. It's a bit of a long process.
It's alright, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sure our lovely viewers won't either.
Yes. So, once your registration is approved, you will receive an email with your registration ID number alongside the link to the Download Festival Accessibilities application form. You'll need your registration ID number to submit your application form to download. This is really important. Don't just go and fill out the form without this, otherwise you won't be approved and you'll have to do it all again. So, just a quick overview of the Nimbus Access Card here. So it's run by Nimbus Disability. It's a scheme that's recognised all across the UK for West End theatres, amusement park festivals and other attractions, and it also gives a handy little list of some of the places that accept the Nimbus card, and it's only 15 quid for 3 years, which is brilliant. Here's some of the places there, like Warner Brothers Studio, Paulton's Park, home of Peppa Pig, so if you're going with the kids, absolutely amazing. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child theatre show in London, Cadbury World, very worth the visit. The O2 Arena, I've worked there many times, and they're all lovely there. Disneyland Paris also accepts it, so it appears that it's available in Europe as well. All the Merlin attractions, like Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, I can't think of any more off the top of my head, and a few other places like the Jorvik Centre in York, the Lion King show in London. So we're going to apply for the Download Festival Digital Access Pass, which is £0. So let's go to the next page. So once you're on this page,
My favourite place, £0.
yes, $3.99. So we're on the form page here. So we're gonna fill out all of these details. So you'll need your name, surname. You can also fill this out on the behalf of someone. So I can fill this out for Dan. I just need to put my name and surname in there. Address, email that you want it to be sent to. So obviously we'll use Dan's email address and a telephone number. And then the consent for the process for them to view your sensitive information. So we're going to fill in these bits and we'll get back to you in a couple of minutes. So, we filled in all of Dan's details. Obviously we've blurred out his phone number at the top there. And so next we need to consent for Nimbus to process sensitive information about Dan in order to make a decision on his entitlement to access registration. So, next page. So now this is the fun bit. So we need to give basically an overview of why Dan needs accessibility requirements. So there's a handy little text box to write stuff down, and then there's a bunch of different impairments that we can checkbox essentially, which is a bit insensitive, I think, but it is what it is. It's really the only sort of clear way to break it down, I guess.
The only way to get it done.
So we'll quickly fill that in and we'll get back to you. The page. So we filled all of that out. Let's move on to the next page. Okay. Standing and queuing. This symbol is awarded to people who find standing and or queuing a substantial barrier to access services. This may include individuals who physically cannot stand or queue for any significant amount of time, or people that have an issue with understanding the concept of queuing. This can only be awarded where we can see that standing and queuing or being in crowds is so difficult that it is virtually impossible and requires an alternative solution to... Well, you can queue, can't you, because you're in the chair.
Oh yeah, I just can't stand.
Yeah. So you don't...
That's more for kids with like autism.
Yeah, so Dan doesn't have the standing and queuing thing, so we can skip this section. Require wheelchair accessible facilities. So this is definitely a Dan, considering Dan is in the wheelchair the entire time, pretty much. So in order to protect wheelchair accessible facilities, so we need to read and understand. So for this point, we'll basically fill in here saying that Dan is a wheelchair user, manual wheelchair user, and
In any difficulties I might have.
yeah, essentially. So we'll fill this bit in and then we will get back to you. So we filled in that little box. Obviously it'll be blurred out for you guys or blanked out just because we don't want to give anything, personal away. So yeah, let's move on to the next page.
2 sections down.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go. So this is long distances. If you have difficulty moving yourself more than short distances, this is the symbol for you. We have no strict definition of what distances are involved, as it will be for you to discuss with providers, and they will let you know how they might be able to meet your needs.
I can't at all.
Yeah. I've read and understood. Cool. Right, so that's that bit filled in. Let's move on. For people with continence issues, we have WC symbol. Providers on the board are made aware that this means urgent access to any toilet without question. This is for you as well. Cool. So that's that bit sorted. Let's move on. Assistance dog. We don't need an assistance dog. So we can move on from that. +1 essential companions. So this is the important one for us. It's very important to point out that, you know, this does not automatically give you a free +1 for some places, but quite a few festivals and other attractions will offer a sort of free personal assistant ticket or pass,
Yes.
because the disabled person needs them and can't go to these activities without them. So I have read and understood. Right, let's fill this little bit in, and then we will get back to you.
Pretty much spot on.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that section. Let's move on to the next. Visual information. For people who find accessing visual information a barrier, they may include people with visual impairments who require alternative formats of guidance. We don't need this. Dan is very good at seeing. He can see better than me. He can see things I can't see, both in real life and subtext. Yeah. So we don't have this access requirement, so we're going to skip this, but again it will be similar to all the other sections to fill in the details. Accessing audible information, again Dan doesn't require this. Dan is...
Give it a few years and a few gigs.
Aye, I mean, you know, he's gone a bit deaf in one ear from the sub, but no, Dan is, orally, as in ears, capable, so we will not need this section either, so we will skip this one. If your impairment has any other impact on your ability to access a service, tell us about that here. This will flag to service providers that you might need support which otherwise wouldn't be identified on the card. I'm guessing this could be things like, completing a payment or,
anxiety issues.
Yeah, it's sort of all the other categories thing. I don't think we require this, do we, Dan? Cool, so we can skip this section as well, I believe.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So this looks like it's the last little section of the symbols on the card. So when we skip this section, let's have a look. So we now need to upload our evidence documents. So we need to upload a scan or a clear photo of your benefits entitlement or a doctor's letter. So just a few things that they accept. So it's a confirmation of disability living allowance, DLA, or PIP, personal independence payment, or attendance allowance for things like colleges and schools, I think. This must be recent and clearly show the name and address of the recipient, and it must show the rates of mobility and personal care. They cannot take COVID extension letters, ESA, UC, blue badges, appointment letters, or Christmas bonus letters. So we will have to do that. You need to upload your evidence, so that's your PIP letter, your benefits letter, your other things like that. You also need to have, this is very important, government issued photo ID. So that's something like a driving license, a passport. Dan has a citizen card, which is cheap and easy to apply for. I think we paid 35 quid and it was here within 2 days.
That is for
That's the express. I can't remember how much it was for the standard 2 week wait time. I think it was like 15 quid or something.
quid.
Yeah.
11 quid.
So that's there, and then you also need a photo of the applicant's face. So something like a passport photograph. I guess it's so they can compare between the ID and the person. So we're going to go ahead and upload all of this, and then we will get back to you. We have uploaded all the files, and then all we need to do now is submit application. So we will do that. We just sit and wait now. It says they will aim to get back to us within 3 working days. So
These kinds of things are generally quite quick.
yeah. So yeah, I guess it's just a waiting game. So hopefully the next point you see us, I'm gonna jump back to our call. So that's it. I guess it's a waiting game now. We will see what happens over the next couple of days, and then hopefully in the next little segment we'll be filling out the access form. So you will either see us in the next couple of seconds or in part 2. Yeah. So if this is the end of part 1, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next part. If we're moving on, then see you in a couple of seconds. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much, and we will see you very shortly.